friends, I'm Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library. Welcome to our March Inquire Within program. So for this month, we are doing projects all about, can you see what this is? The wind. Here's the wind whoosh, blowing either gentle breezes or big gusts of wind. And with this month's Inquire Within kit, you will be ready to study the wind no matter how hard it's blowing. So if you can come to the library, you can come down to the children's room and pick up a kit. We'll have them ready to go for you there. You can always call us and we'll have one ready, or however many you need through curbside service. You can call us and reserve them, and you can pick them up through curbside service. Or if you're not able to come to the library, you can just email at kids@adamslib.org, and I would be happy to email you the instructions for how to do the things this month. So since we're talking about the wind, there will be some information about how to make wind socks. Something like this. So you can hang it up. You can hang this up outside and watch the wind. And that is a way to do it from Cat in the Hat knows a lot about that. And if you're using the Cat in the Hat's way, there is also an observation sheet. So you can study the wind for a week and see how it's blowing. You can also make a kite if you would like. That'll go like whoosh, over the wind like that. And there'll be some materials in the kit for you to make that. There will be a wind gauge from Cyberchase that you can measure the wind for yourself and see how fast it's blowing. And for decorations, you can make Cyberchase pinwheel or another pinwheel, big version or a smaller version. And then you can put these, you can blow on them like that to keep them going, or you could always put them in a plant or something to decorate. And you can see if the wind starts to make them blow, then you'll know it's windy, pretty windy outside, so you can be prepared. To make the wind gauge that's in the kit, you'll look for the Cyberchase paper that has this wind gauge down here. You're going to cut that out, and then you can glue it onto a card. There'll be this size card in the kit. The wind gauge will be a little bit smaller, but glue it on to the card, and then you can decorate it if you would like. And the card will just make it a little sturdier for you because, you might be out in the wind as a scientist, seeing how fast the wind is blowing. You'll look for the paper clip in the kit, and there'll be a skein of yarn in each kit. So you can use the yarn for these different projects. Once you've got your wind gauge all assembled, you'll put it, stand outside in the wind, make sure you don't blow away, face the wind, and how fast the wind is blowing is how far it'll show you on here. It could be blowing up to a 10, or it could be just a 1, gentle breeze. So when you're a wind scientist, you can see how fast the wind's blowing at your house. You can go to different places around, and you can see if the wind's blowing at the same speed or a different speed, and check like a scientist. Now, to make this wind sock, there's different ways to do it, but you could use a bottle. For this one, I cut a small piece. It's only about that high from a smaller bottle. The bigger the bottle, the bigger the center of your wind sock will be. So an adult can cut the plastic. You can make it wider, or you can make it smaller, up to you. But these parts, if you have the tails of the wind sock, are from plastic bags. So you'll need some plastic bags from home. And then you can cut them into strips, cut them into long strips, and you can attach them to your ring here. It's a little bit hard to see because it's a clear bottle, but the ring is here. And I loop these over and attach them on. So these fringes are just from different colored bags. If you have different colored bags, you can put them on. If you have all the same, that's okay too. It's up to you, and it can use things you already have at home. Then you can use the yarn to tie a piece of the yarn to each side, and then you can hang it up outside, and then you can see how the wind's moving that way. You can see even inside the air circulating a little bit in here. So the windsock's moving just a little bit. Now, if you really feel ambitious and you want to go fly a kite, here's a kite that you can make from a paper bag that'll be in the kit. Be a paper bag, some stickers. You can decorate it with something else if you'd like, and you can use another plastic bag from home, and this will be the tail of your kite. You'll use your hole punch or use a pencil. An adult can do that to poke a hole in the bag in 4 different places. Tie some yarn on, and then you'll get a long piece because you want your kite to go up in the air. So this will be the part that you will hold on to, and you'll tie smaller pieces to these 4 sides of the bag kite, and then you'll tie your longer piece onto that and catch enough wind to go whoosh up into the sky, and you can hold on and watch it go. There's going to be 2 different ways to make these pinwheels, wind pinwheels too. When you find the Cyber Chase one, you cut out the square. So you cut on this solid line around the square, and then you will cut on these dotted lines, but just to the circle. You don't want to cut through to the circle. So you'll cut here, 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 and here, and then there are little numbers. And so those are the numbers. This is probably going to take, a couple people to help, because I had to have Miss Andrea and Miss Rachel help me with this because it's a little bit hard to hold them. But you're going to pull all of those sides in, and somebody will need to hold them. This one is working with a pencil, and you actually are going to stick them through the eraser, and that's what's going to hold this on. So again, probably need an adult's help. Yeah, you might need a team for this one. So some people will hold it in place, and then someone can carefully stick. There'll be either a thumbtack or a push pin, a longer one like this. You'll stick it through the 4 pieces of paper and then stick it into the eraser of the pencil, and then you can hold it, and then you can watch it spin. Now for these other ones, there'll be an 8.5 by 11 piece of patterned cardstock. So you need a square. You can decide if you want to make a big one, then you can make it an 8.5 inch square. If you want to make smaller pinwheels, you can actually get 2 out of that 8.5 by 11 paper, and you can make half of 11 would be 5.5. So you can make 5.5 inch squares. So you cut it down into a square, and then you fold your square into a triangle one way. You open it up, you fold your triangle or your square into a triangle the other way. You open it up, and then you'll have these fold lines to follow. Very carefully on each of those fold lines, you'll cut a little bit further than halfway down, but don't cut it all the way because then your paper will fall apart. So you cut it a little bit more than halfway. Then again, you'll take, if you have a hole punch, you can use that. And if not, somebody, probably a grown-up, will need to carefully poke a hole in. It says if you make the cut, if you make it to the right side, make a hole to the right side of each cut, and then turn it, make another hole, turn it, make another hole to the right, turn it, make another hole to the right, because you want to make sure you've got them all the same on all 4 sides. And then you will carefully take the brass fastener that will be in the kit. There'll be a couple of them in case you drop one, because they're slippery, and if you lose one, there'll be some extras. You will carefully, somebody will carefully, maybe an adult will carefully poke a hole through the center, just a little slit through the center. And then the same way, you will pull these over, all the little pieces with the hole will come to the center too, and that's going to make this design for the pinwheel, and that's how it'll move. So it looks like, the blade on a windmill, and that will catch the wind, and this pinwheel will too. But instead of using a pencil for this one, there'll be some pencil or a paper straws in your bag. you will take one end, flatten it down, and then punch the hole through there too. So you can just see there's a hole, not too close to the end, and try to get it so you don't get it all the way to the edges. You want it to be in the center. Mine's a little bit off here, but it's close to the center. And if you need to put some tape around the outside, you can. So then once you've got all your 4 pieces coming down here, you'll take your brass fastener, you put it through the paper, the cardstock paper, and you'll put it through this too. Like this. Here's the brass fastener. You close it in the back, and then it'll go around your straw, and that'll be the holder for this one. And then you can just go out and you can admire your handiwork and admire the wind as it's blowing. Maybe sometimes you can see the wind, or I'm sorry, sometimes you can hear the wind, but if you have one of these or your windsaw, you'll be able to see the effects of the wind too. So please come down to the children's room and pick up your kits. We'll have them as long as supplies last. And as always, I want to thank our friends at WQED Education and at Clearview Federal Credit Union for making it possible for us to bring these kits for you and do our Inquire Within program. So thank you to our friends there very much. And thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Have a happy spring. Enjoy the breezy spring days. And you can come in and get your kit and enjoy the wind that way too. And please join me next month, and we'll be doing some more activities that involve PBS kids. So thank you very much. Have fun, friends, and see you later. Thank you. Bye.